Bogan, good mate, yourself? BJ on game day, first show of 2021, mate. Six weeks until the season starts. Not long to go now. I think Supercoach officially opens for everyone on Thursday at about midnight for those that are keen. So we've thrown this one together, you and I, Bogues, today. No Joshy yet for now. We'll see what happens with Joshy, but we'll talk a bit of shit. Maybe a few. Yeah, I'll always leave that door a little bit open. I reckon he'll be back. He'll get the bug and he'll be back. But for now, yeah, Joshy's just gonna
And
concentrate.
after my little spiel there, Brent, I just realised my mic's not on. So,
There you go. How good are we going? Welcome back to BJ on game
yeah,
day.
welcome back. Nothing changes. So I did say something really nice, but I'll have to fucking paraphrase it now. Josh King let me know that he's concentrating on other things this season. He probably won't be involved in the show too much, but we are leaving the door open for him to return whenever he feels up to it.
Yeah, no. So we'll see what happens with Joshy.
Yeah,
So it's you and I, Bogues. We'll see what
yeah.
happens. We won't be selling any cars like Joshy can on the with his charisma and
Well, and now I'm going to have to think up a new intro, mate. I can't have Josh King and outro. We'll have to do a new
yeah.
outro as well. But yeah, well, he did say this year, so still, even if he's not around this year, I hope he comes back next year. But as I said, the door's open for him to return whenever he feels like it and be involved in the show as much or as little as he wants to be. If he still wants to be in the draft stream and stuff like that would be fantastic.
Yeah, look, I've had a chat to him in the last couple of weeks, and he will definitely be in the drafts and things because we're running that cashy as well, and there was a spot there for him. So he has let me know he'll play that. So I still think he'll be super coach, and it'll just be whether he's as much into the BJ stuff. And obviously myself, Bogues. Obviously it's well known. I got a few kids, keep me busy and stuff like that. So we'll do our best to do what we've always done weekly,
And
but there might be times where it's
I was thinking
a bit
about it.
harder than others.
I'm the least qualified person to host a Supercoach show, and Joshy sort of did fill that role of coach, and I'm gonna have to we're both gonna have to step up and fill that in a little bit. But then I did think I beat both of you cunts last year, so
Well, that's the thing. If you finish higher than us overall, so you're probably more than qualified.
um, but yeah.
Look, what's in store this year, mate? BJ and Game Day in terms of leagues and stuff like that. Let's get started with what we're doing with
All right.
classic leagues. Obviously, we haven't had too much of a chat about this ourselves, so that's part of what
Yeah, so
we're
we'll
doing
have a
this
bit of a
about.
bit of a discussion now. I don't know if we've
Um,
got anyone watching at all, but that's fine. The chat's there. This was a bit of a ad hoc stream, so people weren't aware, and it's not usually at the time that people usually watch the show, which is fine. People are probably out enjoying the Australia Day festivities and things like that.
or hungover,
So most
hungover
people are
like
probably
I
going
am.
to watch the VOD. But yeah, with us being one bloke down, we're probably going to cut the leagues back a bit. We did have some grandiose plans in place for having like a draft league for the premiership, but also like having a funny cunt league.
Mm.
But I probably don't want to run two drafts, and
Yep.
I definitely don't want to run three three classic competitions this year. So we're probably going to cut that back down to two,
Yep.
invitational and all in.
Yep.
And we'll have to be pretty strict on this one. The invitational will obviously be people regulars from the show and stuff like that. People that we choose to go in there. Um, you know, people like your Big Teds, Shane Foote,
Yeah.
Kane Anderson, obviously,
Yeah.
people like that. And then the second will be an all-in, which we will, closer to kick-off of round one, we will put the fucking league code up.
Yeah, and we'll obviously have the group as well. So anyone that misses out on, the all in, will still have the group there as well. So between those three and a couple drafts, Bogan, will be pretty. There'll be enough there for us. So
With the draft, obviously we had the qualifications for the draft from last year's league, which is fine, but I've sort of just pretty determined that I'm not going to go too much effort to chase people up.
Yep.
So get in contact with myself or Brent on the social medias, and if not, we'll probably open that up to invites as well.
yeah, for sure. So what was it, Bogan? It'll be me, yourself, Joshy. I take it.
Definitely Kane Anderson, because he fucking whooped everyone.
Kando. So it's the premiers from the. Was it the three
I'll have
leagues?
to re-watch. Yeah, it's the premiers from
Yeah.
the three leagues. Well, I think it was the top two from the three leagues,
Yeah.
and the
Top scorer from the group.
Yeah, we'll do the group again this year. So I don't know if we could set that up now, but yeah, next episode I guess we'll put the group code up.
Yeah, so Supercoach opens like Thursday. That's Australia Day now. It's Tuesday, so yeah, 12 o'clock on Thursday night. So pretty much from I think it was Thursday. Thursday. So yeah, pretty much from.
Keep an eye out for the group code to come out. We're really happy with how many people participated in the group last year, and we want to get those people back on board.
For sure. So we'll have the Champions League draft or whatever you want to call it, Bogan, as usual. And I'd imagine we'll probably look to do the draft itself before Team List Tuesday, because we run a Team List show on the Tuesday night, obviously, and then we have another draft already planned for the Wednesday night. So that one, maybe want to like earmark it for the Sunday night or something like that, possibly at this stage.
Yeah, it'll have to be
The Saturday or the Sunday night.
Saturday or the Sunday night. Probably the Sunday night would be best. We don't want to ruin people's opportunities to go to the pub and shit.
Mm.
Sunday night, 9 o'clock, the usual time.
They'll be frothing by that point, don't you worry, mate. So,
yeah. And how are we gonna? Well, obviously we'll have to do a couple of shows before then, just to go through obviously the team reveal. It's fucking weird when you've got a Supercoach YouTube channel. The team reveal video is generally your biggest video of the year. So we'll have to do the team reveals. Should I do a team reveal, or going back once again, is it worthwhile me doing a team reveal, considering that I pretty much got lucky last year with a lot of shit?
oh, not at all, mate. Go for gold. If Joshy's not going to be around, then you may as well fill that void. And
I'll put that out there. And I do hope that Joshy watches this show. I hope it'd be nice to have him in for the team reveal, as I said, because it is the biggest video of the season. We generally get the most views from that. The second most watched video we had last year was Josh going through fucking cheapies.
yeah, right. I thought you were going to say fucking eating cat food or something, but
No, all that shit is just to entertain the mugs that usually join the stream.
Teddy's just flicked me a message, Bogues. Apparently you're a little bit light on. You can't hear.
Fucking hell.
So turn yourself up if possible. Cheers, Tedster.
Alright, I am turning myself up. You could have always jumped in the chat and told me. We would have. How's that? Oh, we don't have a fucking chat, but how's that?
Big Ted's birthday yesterday as well, so happy birthday to Big Ted over the ditch in New Zealand. Happy birthday, old boy.
Mate, hoping everything's going well for him over there. Obviously, with fucking working arrangements and shit, and the Teamless Tuesday show, we didn't see as much of Big Ted, but he's hoping that fate fate brings us more Ted this year.
Yeah, and obviously the time difference makes it a bit hard. If we were starting streams at 9 or 10 or whatever it was, some weeks like you got to get up and go to work the next day, so understandable. But he'll be, I think, in our keeper league draft, Bogan. We're obviously doing that off the side, but a few of the boys have asked if we can stream that one, so it won't necessarily be an affiliated BJ league, but maybe we can stream that one on the Wednesday night or something as well, depending on what your
Yeah, mate. Like
availability
I had a
is.
blast last year. As stressful as it fucking was running the stream and trying to pick my fucking team at the same time.
Mm.
I had a blast last year doing I think that was fucking hilarious. If you haven't watched it, go back and have a look at last year's draft special, and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was good. So we'll do that again. We'll have the leagues. So the next few weeks, we'll probably put out some previews of a few teams. Like I said, might pick a few players from each team. Bogan as a bit of a preview. A few guns, a couple mid ranges, a couple cheapies from each team that we might have our eye on. We obviously can't cover every player, but maybe over the next 6 weeks or so, we'll do a bit of that.
Well,
Get people ready for the season. But yeah, it's really going to start to gear up once it opens.
and as I said, like I would like to do like we did last year, having the fucking team previews for each club and shit. But mate, like that was hard enough work between three of us, between fucking two of us, and you've got a fucking infant that you need to look after. Well, they wouldn't be an infant now; they'd be getting close to a toddler, wouldn't they? Be crawling around, wouldn't they?
I don't know. There's too many of them now to keep track. Nah,
it's a little bit too much to put that much effort. So we can cut back on the leagues. We'll be doing the team reveals, and then we get into the week to week shows. And as I said, we might do a quick special if we find it suits us on pods and maybe rookies and shit like that people be looking to put in their teams. But once again, a lot of the rookies especially depends on who's playing in that week one, who you can make some cash off.
yeah, and it's hard as well because there'll be plenty of speculation leading into the trials, and then some guys will get some runs during trials as well. They might look good, but on team list Tuesday they don't end up getting names. So there'll be plenty of people, for the next 6 weeks putting up teams. How's this look? How's that look? But realistically, until you get those team lists on the Tuesday evening or the Tuesday arvo, you can change it 1,000 times, but that's going to be your source of truth as to what you actually end up doing. So yeah, it'll be fun, but like I said, I probably don't tend to worry too much until a bit closer to the team list in terms of what the squad will start to look like. But there's been plenty of years gone by where some guys have got runs during trials look really good, cheapy prospects, and then don't end up even getting a run in the year. So it does make it a little bit hard at this time of the year.
Yeah, well, let's see, draft is what I'm going to be more concerned about, especially that one that you've roped me into.
Yeah, so that one as well. Obviously, that one's going to be a big one. Bit of cash on the line in that one as well. And if anyone's interested, obviously, Bug, I know we talked about that as well, running cash leagues that aren't affiliated with BJ and GameDay, but I might run a classic cash league for anyone that's interested on the side as well. So if anyone's keen on that, I might put some more info out and people can get in touch and sort something out. We might do a couple, whether it's a $20 and a $50 or something like that. But again, what does it have to be non-affiliated to BJ's? Is that some form of unlicensed gambling or something?
Pretty much. Yeah. So it would be a gentleman's and gentle ladies agreement. That's not affiliated with the show, but we sort of gamble responsibly.
Yeah, so anyway, what's happening as well in the footy, mate, at the moment? There's a bit of news going around the place, a few signings here or there. I'm trying to think some of the big ones. I think more recently Mansour signed with the Rabbits. I think that's a pretty big signing for them, a huge loss for Penrith. I think that one's actually starting. Is this for this year as well, is it? Or is it for 2022? I have to have a quick look at that. That's a pretty big one.
I mentioned to you before we went live, I have looked at absolutely nothing. I saw a brief article about Farhan and Cherry Evans pairing back up, and did think to myself, that could be interesting.
Farhan.
Kieran Farhan back in that environment that he did used to play so well in. Um, is he worth getting on? I suppose I'll have to look at his price.
Yeah, so that's a big one. I think that is the Mansour one is effective immediately, so
Oh wow.
they'll pick up him, which is a massive signing. He was one of their best last year. Does a lot of work for them at the back. Starts their sets off really well. Massive meter, so that could be a massive signing for South. As well, they obviously lost Corey Allen, who's gone to the Dogs. Looks like he might nail down a fullback spot at the Dogs, um, which is pretty interesting. You got Jai Arrow at the Rabbits as well, which is a pretty big pickup for them if he can, stay fit and healthy. You got Frizzell, obviously moved to Newcastle. We've had Mitchell Pearce doing who knows what.
Oh
Um,
fuck, Mitchell Pearce. Well, there was a scandal.
and I think more recently as well that Corey Norman might be in a bit of strife if you believe everything you read in the media, which you probably shouldn't. Apparently, he's been involved in a bit of a scuffle out in the last couple of nights
Well,
and got into a street brawl. And if that's the case, he whether the Dragons retain him or what happens with his contract, you could be having a look at someone like young Jaden Sullivan this year, who looks an absolute gun.
you had Payne Haas who got himself into some
Pain as well, yeah.
dramas. Here's the thing: Payne Haas is that good that I think that up there in Queensland, especially, they'll forget about that pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, I think I don't know what he got done with that one, but yeah, it's not good. Obviously, you had
Intimidating a police officer, but if someone the size of fucking Payne Haas says hello to you, you're gonna be intimidated.
I think it was something along the lines of like, what are you gonna do? Like, which is a fair call, but like they've taken that as intimidating a police officer. Like, what are you gonna do to stop me or something along that? Not that exactly, don't quote me, but something along those lines.
Either way, he's in a bit of strife for that. Like that's a minor charge. He'll get a fine for that. I think the Broncos have already said that they're not planning on anything.
Yeah, so we've there'll be a bit we preview as well. The Warriors have made a couple big signings as well. Adam Fennell-Blake, they picked up Murdoch Massilia. Whether they can strike back. Couple injuries, guys like SJ will be out for start of the season. I think Takiaho will miss the start of the season. Flano to the Dogs. I mean, these are all just some off the top of my head. I haven't had a massive read of a lot of anything really, to be honest, but we'll start to have a look into all that sort of stuff and preview some of these teams.
Also, draft order.
Yeah, so for the Champions League draft,
Yep.
I mean, ultimately, I think last year what we did is we all took a team in the
but
nines.
everyone sort of knew each other. I think we got a few that we didn't know. Do you want to do?
There are.
Do you want to do names out of a hat for that?
Well, there's random list generators we can use. Like we can do it on the live if you want as well. So perhaps we just go with that approach because it's a bit easier than what we did last year. We might do that for the keeper league, but yeah, for the Champions League.
Nines is a bit of a fucking circus. Let's face it.
Well, it's not on. I think it's on anyway.
Because of COVID.
Yeah, so they've canned that. But yeah, so we'll just do a random list generator. There's a few pages I'm on Facebook which use them, which they seem to do the job. So we might just use one of those to determine the draft order. Once we get our guys locked in, and obviously we want to get draft night sort of a date firmed up so people can start to go and plan. People like I'm in about 4 or 5 different drafts, Bogan, so I've got to start thinking about when draft nights are and all that sort of stuff, so I don't happen to be trying to do 2 at once or anything like that, as crazy as it sounds. But firm up some dates once we get our runners confirmed, and then we'll get all that sort of stuff in order. Anyone that's watching on the Keeper League, I know there's a few of the regulars are going to be on the Keeper League as well, Bogues. I'm writing up a bit of a constitution just for some rules for us to fall back on, given it is a bit of a cash league, Keeper League that I expect might go on for a few years. I think it's good to have something that underpins the league.
Can you explain the concept of the Keeper League?
Yeah, so the keeper, what it will be, it's going to be interesting. I've never actually done a keeper league through the Supercoach system, but the idea is that any players that you draft, effectively, you have the ability to keep them. We're going to have some manual rules applied to ours and how we'll get this to work. At the end of the season, we'll see, but basically...
So if I got Teddy again, I could keep him for...
Yeah, in
a few
theory. So
years.
like I said, we'll have some manual rules we apply, and I know the Supercoach system probably won't allow for this, but I feel like we'll be able to manually do it. Where we're going to keep 2 players each from that original squad we draft this year, and then you've also got to trade 2 players with each, trade 2 players with other teams as well at the end of the season. So you'll keep 4 players once you've got your 2 keepers and you've done your 2 team trades, and then the next draft the following year will be about filling the remainder of your squad with what's left there. So yeah, if you that draft is going to be pretty big, that first one in that order, because whoever gets those early picks is probably going to be picking guys that won't go anywhere for 5 or 10 years in people's teams potentially. When you got guys like Teddy and Cleary, um, you know, Turbo, Taumalolo, they're going to be guys that people won't probably trade, to be honest. So it'll be a big one.
Fair, they're not fucking immortal. Like,
Yeah, no, they're not.
Players
But
get older and they get injuries.
and that's where I guess the keeper league will be interesting. People won't necessarily jump to Cameron Smith if he does play. With whatever happens there, yet we don't know whether he will or won't. Anyway,
What is the
but
latest? What is the latest news on that? They've confirmed he's definitely not playing for the Storm.
Oh, have they? I wouldn't have a clue, mate.
I thought they'd already confirmed that.
No, I'm not actually aware. I
Because
still.
he's bought a house in Queensland.
Uh,
He's in the process of
yeah.
shipping his kids up there.
I think he might have now. 4 days ago, Cameron Smith is yet to officially anything. This is 4 days ago, and Brandon has opened about his pending release. So Brandon Smith requested a release from the Storm, which is pretty big. So you'd have to assume that either Cameron's going to hang around, and Harry Grant might share it with him potentially. Who knows?
Fuck.
But Brandon Smith's after release.
That's
so
to Harry Grant.
Well, I mean, realistically, even if he does, Cameron Smith could go to
he's too
seven.
good to be a second string fucking hooker.
Yeah, but I think what you'll find is that Harry Grant coming on. Look at what he did in Origin. Obviously, Queensland. Obviously, that was pretty massive as well. Massive underdogs, worst Queensland side ever, if you believed what you read. Rolling New South Wales.
I'd say it was one of the
Harry
shittest
Grant
fucking Origins ever. But anyway.
When Harry Grant got on the park late in those games and in the halves, like he ran a mark. He was the difference in that decider. I reckon he had an absolute blinder.
He's definitely.
Someone like that who can play 80 minutes. Imagine him coming on fresh after 30 minutes and a half or whatever it'll be. Smith can slide into the halves as he can and steer him around the park. He's still got plenty to offer. So it will be interesting.
Smith.
What's that?
It now. Smith to Titans.
But he hasn't returned to pre-season training.
It doesn't matter.
Just reading this now. So Brandon Smith wants to play hooker. He's obviously not going to get that with Grant there by the sounds of things, and Smith, all but retiring. So we'll see what happens. We'll find out in the next 6 weeks, I imagine, because March, what is it, the 10th of March? Bogan, I think 11th of March, season kicks off. So there's not long to go now, 6 weeks. Round 1, Storm versus the Rabbits on Thursday night. So there's not long to go. You can't... Obviously, everyone in-house will know what's going on, I'd imagine. It'll just be all us plebs.
What's going on with the Warriors? With the fucking vid.
They're here now, so they're back at Central Coast, I think it is, or whatever.
They're gonna play out of a bubble.
Yeah, they're back in the bubble now. I think a couple of weeks ago they went in, so started pre-season maybe a few weeks ago now. So they're back in the bubble away from home. Massive from them once again to keep the competition running, but. So they're here now in the bubble. They've picked up Phil Gould in some sort of capacity as well, which is interesting.
That's their mouthpiece or something.
Yeah, so a couple big signings as well. They got a big forward pack, but picked up Ewan Aitken as well. So I think it'll be good, better for them. They did it last year, obviously, and now they're back doing it again. Obviously, it must be pretty hard for a few of them being away from home. We saw that last year with a few of them, requesting to go back early, which is understandable. But they might be a bit better for it, having gone through it now, and acclimatise a bit better now. They're actually here, and they don't, there's not uncertainty, probably isn't the right word, but they know they're going to be here for a bit of time and stuff like that. But the NRL does owe them a lot, and you know, there's been not rumours, but people saying they should have all home games played over, all their games played over there one season once COVID's all sorted and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's pretty massive what they're doing, to be honest.
Oh well, it's a big commitment. Just he's hoping that somewhere during the mid-season or something like that, they can relocate back over there.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't have too much else, mate. Like I said, we can go through in the next few weeks, put a few things out. You and I will see what happens with Joshy. We'll get some leagues together, try and line a few people up for different bits and pieces. Firm up some draft nights, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. If there was anything else you want to have a chat about at the moment? I don't know if anyone's on or anyone's in the chat or anything like that.
In the chat, but hold on, let me.
Are we likely to stick in here? We're not twitching or whatever, are we, Bogues? Or what's the go?
So there was some there was some discussions, mainly me talking about switching over to Twitch, just because YouTube is fucked. Thing is, Twitch is pretty fucked as well. So yeah, we'll probably just stay the course with YouTube at the moment, but that option to move over to Twitch is there if it occurs. There's a little bit more we'd be able to do over at Twitch, with the chat and people being able to listen to audio only mode and shit like that. That has been requested several times. But also, if we were to move over to Twitch, we'd still be uploading the VODs to
Okay,
YouTube.
so the YouTube channel will stay.
The YouTube channel will stay regardless of what we choose to do. I was looking into dual streaming, but it seems like it's too much of a pain in the ass for me to sort of work out the technical shit of.
No, that's cool, mate. That's cool.
Unless I pay money, which is like I'm not going to do.
I think the other thing as well, Bogan, obviously with COVID last year and the disruption that was caused there and all that sort of stuff, all that early buy planning, if anyone did it, went out the window. So it's going to be a bit of a different year now. We expect to play the full season out. The buys will be there. Origin will be where it usually will be. So it will be back to normal. I'm not saying it was easier last year or anything like that, but it will be a little bit different this year. So buy planning and looking at draws and all that sort of stuff comes back into it this year, which we didn't have to worry about once it started back up last year. So we'll have all that sort of stuff to think about.
Yeah, and we'll go through a lot of that stuff during the team reveal video.
Yeah, strength of schedules and stuff like that as well. Who's got the good draws early and things like that. But I mean, the competition's pretty strong across the park now. And you think Brisbane got the spoon last year? Can't forget that. Teams like the Titans have made some big signings with Tino and David Fafita, to name just a couple. Whether Brandon Smith ends up there. There's speculation about that as well.
I reckon
but yeah,
will be
I mean,
a Smith of some description.
The competition's
from the Storm to the Gold Coast.
I expect the Dogs to be a little bit better this year. Picked up Flano, a couple wingers, but they don't have a terrible side. They just maybe lacked in a couple key positions. But yeah, they picked up Addo Carr. It's going to be a very interesting year.
Yeah, well, what's the next big game? Are they doing the All-Star game this year?
I believe so. The All-Stars coming up, do we? I think so. Do we? Jeez, all over it. There'll be the trials start in the next couple of weeks, I think. Have they scrapped the All-Stars game? Or is it the Maori game?
Yeah. Of course.
The Maori, is it the Maoris? Yeah, the NRL Indigenous and the Maoris will play. The Maori players are going to play off on the 20th of Feb, so about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks away. probably about a month away. So that'll be the first sort of televised big game that'll be on. But there'll be trials, I think, kicking off in the next few weeks up until the season. So plenty to keep an eye on there as well. There'll be plenty of mail around, as I said. So yeah, starts to gear up, mate. It'll go quick. It's all gone pretty quick, to be honest, with everything going on with COVID and then the quick finish to the year with the footy last year. It's all just come around real quick, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, we'll see how things go. But rebranded BJ and GameDay coming. I'm not changing the logo. We're not changing the name. But
No.
there'll probably be a new intro. I was thinking of doing something because we're both Canberra based. Something, I don't know, with a drone or something swinging in over Parliament House with the music playing or something.
Sounds good, mate. I'll leave all the creative stuff to you because that's not my scene.
That's fine. I'm dependent on you to bring the fucking news about the Supercoach and the footy because
Yeah.
I just play video games with my time, mate. Oh, that's another
No,
thing.
that's
That's
cool.
another thing we need to tee up for the channel. The challenge.
Hmm.
The Brent vs Bogan Rugby League Challenge. I'll have to dust off my PS4 because I've moved on from that, but you're a pleb.
Oh, come on. I destroyed you in the, was it Mario
I
Sonic
know.
Rugby
Fuck,
Sevens?
I wish the audio for that wasn't fucked up. So for those, obviously, I don't think, have we mentioned it on the show? But me and Brent recorded some footage of us playing Mario at the Olympics rugby, and it was fucking hilarious. Like I suppose when you're laughing at yourself, though, maybe you wouldn't find it so hilarious. But we went through all the Mario characters and determined which ones were like what NRL players were
Yeah.
what Mario characters, and it was fucking funny and a laugh and a nail biter too of a 3-game series that we played there.
It was actually good fun. It would have been good if you could extend the settings for how long you could play and all that sort of stuff, which you couldn't because it's a bit of a novelty. But yeah, it was a bit of fun. But yeah, it sounds good. We'll have to pull the PS4 out, mate, and have a bit of maybe an Origin series or something like that.
Yeah.
But for sure, yeah. So if anyone's got
Or
any ideas for content as well,
after the
Bogues.
team list, we have a match between our two teams,
Yeah, we could do that. I reckon that'd be good.
and then that would give that footage would give me something to play in the background as well.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
But yeah, any
yeah.
ideas for content? Yeah, let us know in the comments.
Definitely. We're always happy to do that. There'll be fucking no eating of cat food by me this year, that's for sure. So
those challenges are
we'll lose a bit of that, but hopefully
those
we can bring
challenges are
some.
gone. The bunny snags challenge I do on a regular basis though, so I don't know why that was something for you guys.
Yeah, I think someone doesn't Shana or someone owe a Carolina Reaper or something because someone finished above someone. I think Shana
That
will
was
have
something
to
between Josh and Shane.
and
Maybe that's why
Shana.
Josh
So
isn't back. Maybe he's hoping to sneak back mid-season when everyone's forgotten about that.
anyway, but yeah, so we'll get all that stuff together, Bogues. We'll do what we can between you and I, whether Joshy jumps back in or not. But I look forward to the season ahead, regardless of what happens in this space, and yeah, pretty keen for it all to start up again and start looking at teams and start planning and all that sort of stuff. All the drafts, it should be a lot of fun, mate.
Yeah, well, it'll be something.
So yeah, if you're new, welcome. All the old heads, welcome
And
back.
if you're watching live, cheers!
Yeah.
Because it was a bit of a short notice stream that we decided to put on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep, well, that's sweet, mate. We'll tee something up in the next few weeks, or a little while, and we'll go from there, eh?
Well, wrong screen. Well, do you want to sign us off, Brenner?
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. BJ on Game Day. We'll see you next week or next time.
Rate, subscribe, ring the bell, all that lovely shit. Follow us on the socials. Yeah. Have a good one.
Cheers.